go live on this Facebook thing as well, which I cannot find. I've lost my Facebook. I've lost the Facebook thing. Okay, can't find it. That's all right. It's Badass Beautiful Fridays here at the Spiritual Business Hour. And today we are going to be looking at the beautiful life that you want as a coach who craves freedom in her time, money, pleasure, your mind, and business. So I remember being taught to look at the market for my pricing. Like, hey, what is everybody else charging? But there was also a time, which was much stronger, when I felt that I could only price based on what women or what my ideal clients would pay me. I really remember those days very well. And my pricing wasn't ever based on the value that I delivered. It was based on how much I thought people would be willing to pay me or what I thought I could get. So most women coaches price based on one thing, what people will pay them. Not many will actually look at the market. So they're not really looking at what their pricing, what their work is worth. And they're certainly not looking at what their life requires. And this was a big wake up call for me. So unless a woman or particularly a woman coach was well trained by a really great coach or mentor, they wouldn't base their pricing on the transformation that they actually offer. Sitting down and making them think like, well, if this man divorces his wife and they have to live in two households, or they have to have pay twice the bills, what is it really that they're losing, and how much do they actually end up having to pay if they get divorced rather than if they actually did the work and saved their marriage? It's kind of a stark example, but it's a good one that helps you understand where the money is. So what I'd like for us to be looking at today is kind of what it means to reverse engineer your pricing based on the life that you want. And instead of basing your pricing on your anxieties or on your assumptions that cause anxieties, right? And we certainly don't want to base our pricing on inherited beliefs. So we want to reverse engineer. We want to look at what it is we actually desire to have money for. Yes, of course, we deserve to be paid for what we do, but what do we want to do with that money? I put this out on Facebook today, and I put the question out. I said, if you had five paying clients right now, what would you do? And a lot of people were saying things like, oh, I would do a lot of things, but they didn't identify any of those things. So I went back in and I said, well, what would you do with that money? And a lot of people said, I would pay off debt. And then the next level, once they paid off their debt, then they got really excited. So we're looking at pricing today, and I am excited because we have 5 guests today. All right. We have Allison Stillman. She's a best-selling author, an award-winning speaker, and the Destiny Architect. Hello, Allison. We have Lori McDowell. She's a transformational strategist, a retreat engineer, an international speaker, and author of The Reinvention Mindset. Hello there, Lori. We have Magdalena Grace. She's known as the Womb Whisperer, and she helps women heal ancestral money wounds, and she awakens the feminine power that fuels abundance. Now, everybody knows Renée Ambarees. Renée has been here with the Spiritual Business Hour, and she is an international best-selling author. She's a speaker. She's a body identity mentor, and she's the creator of Yoga for Face. She helps women reconnect with their body, release stress, embody confidence, and activate their real smile, not the weird smile, but the real smile that comes from having a vibrant heart. And of course, we also have our Jennifer Sifert. And Jennifer is a financial leadership guide. She's an energy alchemist, and she's a CPA who helps entrepreneurs understand what's actually happening in their business financially so they can identify the subconscious patterns influencing their decisions, reduce financial pressure, and create greater freedom, prosperity, and impact. Welcome to all of our guests. I'm so excited that you're here. Let's tuck into our first question. So, when you all first set your coaching prices, what were you actually basing them on? And how honest are you willing to be about what that number was really all about way back then? Everybody who's here right now is seasoned, y'all. We are not everybody who's here has been doing this for years, some of us even beyond decades. So, who's going to be willing to pop in and talk about how they first base their pricing? Allison, go right ahead.
I'll go for it. So in the beginning for me, I really came into the work that I do about 40 years ago. And when I first discovered anointing, or I should say remembered anointing, there wasn't anybody else in the world doing that except for the church. And so I was kind of a little bit of an outcast. And so I was very timid in wanting to put a price on it. So honestly, I just asked Spirit, what should I charge for this work? And as time went on, I said, oh my God, you give a person a whole day. You can't charge that amount of money. It's worth 4 times that amount of money. So in the beginning, I was very reticent because what I was doing was very nouveau and, like I said, unique. And it was very woo. We talk about being woo, but I was very woo. And it wasn't until I wrote my book and got in other best-selling books that I felt I was validated in doing the work that I do. So
yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, that's a beautiful, honest story because we all have to start from somewhere, you know? And by the way, dear watcher, dear viewer, we are all speakers at the Liberated Coach Summit. And there are the 6 of us, but then there are also 13 other speakers. Had to do math, you guys. I had to do math. There are 14 other speakers that are there, and we're all going into we're all working together to help you understand how to liberate yourself, okay? We'll get into that more later, but let's hear from another one of our speakers. Lori has popped her hand up. Go right ahead, Lori. So again, that question is, what was your early story around pricing?
Yeah, when I started my business, I priced what I would get someone to pay. I wanted clients, and I would do a program, and I'd start at one price. And one person signed up at that, then I'd talk to someone else, and like, oh, I can't afford that, and okay, what could you afford? And I would have like a program with like 6 people in it, and they were all paying 6 different prices. All of them were probably less than I thought it was worth, but I just wanted to get customers. So I really didn't think of what I needed. It was more like, let's get someone in here and get pricing. And I don't do that anymore. Now, if they don't come, then that's their loss. But that's what I did right away was I needed to get customers in, and I would lower the price as I needed them, or, meet the price, whatever someone could afford to pay.
That is a gorgeous response. Why? Because it's honest, okay? Too many times we see coaches and they're not willing to be honest. And I love watching this confidence come from these women who have done this before. Magdalena, I saw your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love this question. It's making me have flashbacks because I based my pricing off of my first 2 careers. My first career was in TV. I made a whopping 18 grand a year. Okay. Then I got into real estate, and I was like, hello, sales and working for myself. And I was making 10 to 20 grand a month. And so when I realized I loved supporting, coaching, training, guiding people, because I was also a running coach and I wasn't getting paid for that. So I was like, dude, I want to do that. And I want to make the same money I was making when I was selling real estate. So I began with the end in mind and what the lifestyle that I had created at that time, because I could travel anywhere, I could do anything. I had time freedom and had hobbies and a life. So that was what I wanted to emulate.
That is gorgeous. I love it. I love it. Again, a great answer, but I love that. I love that shift. I was making 18,000 a year, then I was making 18,000 a month, or whatever what you were doing a month. That's beautiful. Thank you. And what about Jennifer and Renee? Would you all like to come in on this?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Well, we're kind of hooked in to time for money, right?
Yeah.
And so the accounting profession, which I'm no longer in, the world is like you would get paid by the billable hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had your rate, but then your marked up rate that the customer paid. So when I transitioned out of that, I knew my marked up rate was $250 an hour. And so I very much felt that is my value. That is my value. But it's confusing. It's confusing because I'm going to be honest here. When I first started coaching, I was really hooked into this time for value when I was even building a program. I couldn't get away from like mapping it out based on how many hours is involved and all that kind of stuff until, I was working with coaches who were like, no, business is based on results. What's the value of the transformation? And so that kind of like shifted my mindset around the pricing. But definitely I was undervaluing myself at the beginning.
Well, I love what you're saying there, because I know when people come into my certification program and then we move into that section where we need to look at pricing, that's the thing they do. Well, this is how much I make hourly at this job. This is how much it's based on those hours. So that was really such a great response. Thank you. Thank you. Renee, how about you?
It's just like perfect alignment. I just came out of a talk and someone was asking me, what are you charging for an hour? And I was just like, I remember when did I charge the last time for the hour? Because normal, when you work on results, you need the time for the transition. This is not where I was starting. So when I was starting was just like $50 because that was in the area as a therapist when I was starting, like 2010. That was normal. And I know that I was raising the prices, but specific in the healer area, the mindset of the hour and money is just like, even like what the customer is just like able to understand. So we are still in a huge transition to understand even that this is not only the hour we work with the customer, there's so much more that's going on. And when it comes to the pricing, I think often we are missing those whole pictures when it comes to the real price.
I love this, and thank you so much, Renee, for that, again, exquisite answer, honest and relating it. And I take notes before I do our sessions, and you all touched on all my notes and the things that I experienced and was thinking about and what I've seen. So we have such a great configuration here. So the question I want to ask you all now is, how do you determine the value that you bring? How do you determine the value that you bring? Does anyone want to jump on that? Allison is ready for that one. Let's go, Allison.
It depends on what my clients' results are. That's how I have looked at it, and the value that I have seen in the work that I do. It does change people's lives in a very short amount of time. And I have testimonials from clients that their lives were changed forever for the better after the work that I've done. And so when you start to see those kinds of examples, you know that the work is valuable. It's like you were saying a minute ago, it's not about, yes, I've been doing this for 40 years and I'm a best-selling author, all the rest of that. Yeah, that's great. But what happens for my clients, that's the value.
Very, very good. Yeah, true, true. Anybody else? And actually, before we go forward with that, you said something very interesting, Allison. You said, there's the value that I bring, my clients, that transformation, but there's also the value that comes with experience. So this is where it gets so interesting. Because if you're a new coach, you've been working for about 6 months, and you came in with, you got trained under Byron Katie, and you know her method, and you are using it, should you be charging the same amount as someone who's done Byron Katie's method and then developed her own, and then written a book and done all these other things? Like, how does someone move themselves up from the beginner to something bigger with ease? Go ahead, Magdalena.
I love this question because I was already being transparent myself, because I transitioned from sales coaching to becoming a medicine woman and a womb whisperer. Okay, so kind of a big difference. So what I did was I did market research. I interviewed people who I really admired, respected, and thought, they know what they're doing and they're getting results that I can stand behind. And so I interviewed and got the numbers that I thought were ideal for my lifestyle. And then I did start with beta. It was great, because then I'd reach out to people. I'd say, hey, I'm starting this new program, first time beta, who's in, so I can get testimonials and I can get results and all that. And, I was able to get really good results and really good testimonials. So then I scaled my pricing up, and then you just give like deadlines, like, hey, my price is going up in 6 months. Who wants in next? And by that point, I could quickly scale up to that, pricing that I found that matched my lifestyle, but also was competitive in the marketplace.
Wow, that's very robust and very brave and assertive. Like, I like how you talk about it, Magdalena. You are the womb whisperer, but you kind of like boom, boom, boom. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's interesting. It's really interesting. Does anyone else want to kind of come in around this? Renee, go ahead. Renee.
So I know that I had a huge problem when I had to come up with the prices. So, and I was going, and that was helping me really to understand my value, to write down what did I invest in all my educations, what did I accomplish, how many hours did I train? Because you become a master when you do a thing just like 1,000, 10,000, 1 million times. So then you understand. And this is where you can also make it visible for yourself what you did and why are you good in the things you are doing. So for me, that was the biggest eye-opening to see what I was really putting on the table, that I was not feeling guilty or just like that. I was just like, okay, I see my worth. It's not something that is just like in the clouds and I'm just like picking some numbers. No, it's just like you have to make it visible. How much you were investing, how much even like what did you overcome, and understand, just like even if that was just like a therapy you were doing. This is your gold. You have to understand your gold nuggets. So this is where that was helpful for me to look at. And even I figured out, just like the last time my VIP that was booking the 1 year container, and she was just like, this number is just like, this is what's a little bit too much for her. And I was just like, okay, break it down and then just like see how much you want to transform. Because specific when it comes to containers, we have to hold the room. We are preparing for making this next step visible. And the other thing is, nobody's talking. Your body speaks without words. And knowledge is transformed by sitting with a person who made it. And you don't have to talk. This is why it's always good to have circuits to come together, because we are having more ideas, more things, because everything is clicking, because the field's clicking together. So just spending the time with you, with everything you accomplished as a coach, valuable. And this is also has to, just like, you have to see it on yourself, even in the pricing part.
That is really so beautifully said. Really beautifully said. Please, Jennifer, go ahead.
So I've tested pricing a lot. Like I had beta testers when I first developed my own methodology, like got it on paper and created a program from it. And what I notice is, I'm sorry. It's more than so many things are coming in at once here. What I notice is you have to believe in your price. You have to believe in your price. So if I start second guessing my price, if I start wavering on my price, that interferes with my pricing. And that also sends an energetic message to the people I'm offering my programs to, right? So pricing is a really interesting thing that the subconscious and that you need to be paying attention to, because I feel like you got to know what's comfortable for you. What do you believe that is valuable that you're offering? And what do you believe that people will buy? Because if there's a mismatch in the subconscious and the conscious, there's glitches, right? So I've been testing this a lot.
Yeah, no, that is really wonderful. That is an excellent response, and one I can relate to. I also, I mean, I'm going to actually back off. I want to let you all talk. Yeah, please go ahead, Allison.
Because Renee said something that I think is really super important too, is that when we've all first started our journey, like you said, we're seasoned veterans. We've been doing this a long time. And so we have grown into the coach, the leader that is a valuable resource for people. I didn't start out that way. I started out very insecure about the work and very nervous about bringing it into the world. And when I published my book, I was very nervous about that. And I had to find mentors and coaches myself that would guide me into the greatest expression of who I'm meant to be. And so anything that holds me back personally is going to hold back my price, because I don't feel the value matches the value of who I am. And I think that's a really important topic.
Wow. I'm so full of gratitude for this group of women who have come together today. This is just so powerful. Lori, did you want to say something? I see you. I see you squirming over there.
Yeah, I guess I just want to talk a little bit about value, because, they often say price for your value. And yet when someone comes to one of the, does a retreat, sometimes the value could be, priceless. The value could be thousands, millions, hundreds, and clearly I'm not going to charge that. So I think the value, you need to show the value and then charge for the lifestyle a little bit. I know how much I want to make a year, and I know how many clients I want and how many programs I want to run. So I know what I need to charge per, and then what I do is I need to make sure that the value is orders of magnitude more than what I'm charging. And then it's an easy sell, because the value is so much that, how could you not? It's like a bargain to get this amazing, an amazing retreat or an amazing coaching or an amazing event at this price, because you're getting so much more value. So it's almost like you're not necessarily charging your value, you're showing the value is so much more than what you are charging.
It's irresistible.
Absolutely. It is irresistible, right? Look, I'm going to pop on and just say something, because then I want to go back to what Lori just said about, if I forget, y'all, you remind me, but I want to go back to what she said. Look at your lifestyle and what you want for yourself, right? But before we get into that, I want to look at what I did for myself. So I'm very masculine. You all know I like a lot of structure. I like for things to make sense in my mind. I love to feel my heart and all those things and live in my feminine. I have all of that. But I also needed it to make logical, rational sense. So one of the practices that I started doing for myself, and even now, like I'm in a new phase where I'm taking my old program and my old way of working and I'm putting it into different forms. And what I've started doing, I started this about 3 years ago, and it was a game changer for me. I actually sat down and I wrote out the value of every single thing that I offer. And then I put it into a booklet. And so now when I'm in a discovery session or I'm bringing someone into my program, we talk about what it is that they want. We talk about how I'm going to help them. And then I give them this book that helps them actually understand the value of what I bring. Because my offers are big. They start, like at $15,000, they go up to $80,000. And I'm not going to be the type who's just like, oh yeah, just say it. And then they just either accept it or they move on. And it's going to be like, if it resonates with them, then it's going to work. And I feel like I need to be more respectful to the three-dimensional world. So what I do is I have everything written out, like, you're going to have, we'll meet together at, for these many sessions. These are the things you're going to be working through each month. And, these are the milestones that you're going to hit. And once I actually wrote all that stuff out, and then I helped myself, I sat down and I thought about what the actual value is in dollars and cents. When I wrote it out, people looked at that and they looked at this big number, like $250,000 is what this is valued at. They're like, I see that. I see why you're charging $250,000. I'm getting all this stuff. And, this is how it's going to affect my life. But then when I offer them, I'm not going to charge them $250,000 because it doesn't need to be, I don't need to be compensated at that level for this thing. If I did, I would. It's not that 250 is, too big to charge anybody. No, I can charge them that if that's where I'm going with it, but I'm not. I'm charging $80,000 for that particular package. So then doing that gave me a mindset that let my logical, rational mind understand. And my feminine self was like, you know what? I can relax into that because I'm taken care of. And that was really important for me. Both the masculine needed the rationality, but the feminine needed to know that it was fair. I wanted to know that it was in alignment. And the two of them working together was really important for me.
Love that. Great share.
Thank you. So I was kind of on this call, I was hoping that we could kind of look at the lifestyle of a coach and we could use this for ourselves. I know somebody was saying, I'm so sorry, I can't remember, but someone was saying, I love traveling and I'm so glad that I'm able to be able to afford to travel and do my work and incorporate that in my lifestyle. So what is it that we like to be doing in our lives that our coaching could be paying for? So in other words, why do we need to make this money for ourselves? Anybody want to jump on that?
I got it.
Listen, yeah.
What came in was I am afforded the life that I choose rather than having to work. I get to choose to work. And that's a big distinction for me. It's not, I have to work because I have to bring this money. I get to work and I get to choose when I want to work and with who I want to work. And to me, that's the freedom that comes from owning your worth and charging what you're worth.
That's beautiful. Yes, I want that liberation. Anybody else?
Well, I'm building a space right now to have intimate luxury, reset nervous system type of retreats for executives, leaders, coaches, or healers. And because I'm living there and because it is taking a lot of money to create this, like this is creating my lifestyle, the lifestyle that I want to live. And it's expensive. It's expensive. And so I feel like the results that can come from people coming to this piece of land and what they'll receive, in order for us to have that for them, there has to be a certain price to charge for it. Of course, we're not going to charge them $5 million because that's what it costs. But there has to be it's not a $1,500 retreat space, right? It's more like a $15,000 to $50,000 retreat space and above and higher. And I feel, because of all the time and energy, the design, the dreaming that has been dreaming up into the world is really valuable, and all of the life experience and everything, it's all coming into play into this creation. And it's something that in-person experiences are valuable. They are valuable. They will change your life. And I was thinking earlier when we were talking, I kept thinking tuition. When the price is not accurate, like when it's below value, people don't do the work.
Right.
Like if you're charging $50 an hour, or you're charging $5,000 for something, the people are more committed when they're in the 5,000. Remember when you went to college and you paid for it yourself? I actually paid for it for myself.
Yes.
You did the work. You wanted to get through it. You weren't dropping out and all of that kind of stuff. It was your money invested in it. You wanted the results that you were paying for. But if you don't charge enough for like a big program, people won't do the work and they won't get the transformation or the result. And then you don't get the testimonial either.
Yeah, right. That's a very good, all excellent points. Number one, I think it's so sexy that you're building a retreat center. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. That is great. And I love that it's $5 million. Okay. Go on with your bad self. That's hot. Yeah. Excellent. Magdalena, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've had massive shifts with my own spiritual awakening and recognizing, I used to want to had to make $250,000 a year. I had a lot of overhead. I lived in Southern California. Oh my gosh, that should tell you right there. Super, it's expensive to live there. And then my values changed. I got really more into my divine feminine, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to be in my feminine flow, and I'm going to leave Southern California. I'm going to be a gypsy. I'm going to work less, make more, but not have to make as much, because now my overhead is way, way less, and collaborate more with other women, have more fun, play, take 2 months off. So my lifestyle has really shifted since I've really, practiced what I'm teaching about being in the feminine flow and being able to receive and trust the universe for the money to come in and not have to work so damn hard in that masculine energy. So that's been a huge shift that I've seen since the pandemic and my own awakening.
Oh boy, that's wonderful. That's another sexy response. Okay. I'm like, I'm going to play. I'm going to have less overheads. I'm not going to be in Southern California because it's $250,000 to live there. Like that's so true. It's true, man.
And then what are you taking home? That's the key, right? What are you taking home? Are you giving? Are you saving? Are you investing? Like all of these things were not always as easy when your overhead is so high.
Exactly. And if you're a single woman as well, I'm single, it's me and a polo, and, it's me who's taking care of the present, but also the future, and that matters. So, and I don't want to be working. I'm not trying to have a job, not trying to make my career, my side hustle. This is it. Everything I do is it. I'm a generator of energy and generator of income, as we all are. Right. Mm-hmm. Anybody else want to come in on that? Go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, I'd like to come in, and and for me, my lifestyle is really important. Yet I'm lucky in that I do my coaching and my business as a retreat engineer. I host retreat. I help people. I do retreats for other people. So the travel, the fun, the adventure, I get that from my work. So I don't necessarily have to do that. Yet one of the things that I like to use the money for, and why I want to make, I have a set, but I want to make even more, is because of impact. Because money lets me make impact. It lets me give it away. It lets me go to places, maybe I want to take a month off and go work, volunteer somewhere for a couple months, or I want to speak to audiences where just to share a message because it's important. And money allows us to make an impact. And, so many coaches, they kind of feel like, oh, I want to give people what they need. I want to help people, and they lower their prices. And instead raise your prices, because when you raise your prices, then you can really help people, because then you have the money. I mean, clearly the more money you have, the more people you can help. And that's why, you know, you have this great value and you charge as much as people are willing to pay. And someone once told me, you know, I raise my prices until someone stops paying it. And the most you pay for, you know, you're still getting a great value. And then you have the money to make the impact, to give back, to do the changes in the world you want to, and have that freedom and that time to do it. So that's why I want to make, you know, I want this business to be successful, and I want to make money so that I could use the money to do good and to have the freedom I want to do that.
Really, really nice. Thank you, Lori. Yes, having that impact, so important. Does anybody want to come in on that?
Yeah, I'd love to, because that's been a big thing for me. It's why I build wealth, is to give back and make a difference in this world. And the more money I have, like Lori just said, the bigger impact I can have and the bigger changes I can make in the world. And in particular, my big interest is in the environment and helping the environment. And so I'm legacy leaders in a lot of the environmental organizations, and I give more and more money. And my reason to create more is so that I can keep putting zeros on the end of those checks. And that's what drives me and motivates me, is to make the biggest impact. The more we make, the bigger impact.
That's beautiful. Yeah. All right, ladies. So let me ask you another question, and we're going to look at this kind of reverse engineering again. So how much money do we need to make? How much money do we really need to be making a year to have impact, to be able to build our own retreat center, to be able to travel, you know, reasonably traveling for, you know, a couple months out of the year, to be able to save money, to be able to invest in our own retirement, to be able to have money in stocks, you know, have a portfolio, to have real estate. Honestly, when a woman coach, I had a really great conversation the other day with someone who was, you know, we were just talking, and she's interested in working with me. And she said, you know, I made 6 figures at my job, but I can't figure out how to make 6 figures out of this coaching business that I want to do. And I said, well, why do you need 6 figures? You know, just I knew why she needed 6 figures. I wanted to hear her reasons for why she needed 6 figures. And, you know, she says, well, my lifestyle is, you know, like this, and I want to be able to do that. And she says, I want to be able to have these things. And I said, yeah, that's cool. But then I thought, on the inside, what if you just want money to express your greatest potential? Like, what if you just want to be paid on par with your light, you know, with the radiance that you are? What if you want your income to mirror the truth of who you are, right? So that's my kind of take on where income should begin. But does anybody else have some numbers that people should shoot for? Lori.
I'd love to share something that someone
What's barking? Who's got a dog barking? If you could mute yourself if you have the dog. Oh, that's you, Lori. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't unmute because it's
No. Go ahead.
Hopefully he'll be quiet, or let me grab him and then he'll be quiet.
All right. Does anybody else want to come in on that while we're waiting for Lori?
Oh, here she is.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
That's
back and quiet. But, you know, it's interesting. If you think of money, and someone once told me this, and it just really fit, because I came from corporate. And at corporate, kind of like your limit was $250,000 a year. Unless you became, you know, the CEO, that was where you went. So it's interesting, because an employee is like $250,000 a year. And then you get to the level where you're an entrepreneur and your limit's kind of $1 million a year. And then the step above that is where you say you're a creator. And when you're a creator, it really is endless. You know, that's the Bill Gates, the people that there is no limit, because you're creating something. And when want more money or you want to do something, you just create something else. So it's kind of an interesting way of doing it. You know, start thinking of yourself as this creator. You're creating amazing things and you're creating wealth, and you don't necessarily have a limit there. And I just thought that when I heard that, it was great.
I love that
I love
so
it too.
much. Oh my God.
I love that too.
You want to comment on
I
that?
love that. Yeah. And I love what you're saying about being the light, the essence, the gift, the unique divine gift that we bring to the world, as you call it, Crystal Bell, Crystal Lynn. You, $150,000 is minimum wage in where I live. Like, it's minimum wage in Vancouver, BC area. And you're right, the 250 when you're an employee, it's pretty much the limit that you're at. And that's why you've chosen to become an entrepreneur, is because you want to break free from that limit. I wanted to do it. That's why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. Not the only reason. The one is for my light. And what I really discovered when I'm watching entrepreneurs, when I was back in the firms, is that 95% of entrepreneurs are messy, incomplete, and behind with their numbers. They're not paying attention to that. They're not paying attention to it enough. And their debt is not getting paid attention to, all of these things. And what I really, truly believe as entrepreneurs, because this is how we can become big creators, is we've created this business, and it's a container, it's a vehicle, and it's a vehicle for your prosperity, your freedom, your impact. And the stock portfolio can be inside your business with all the excess cash that's within it. You can be making donations through your business. You can be paying yourself through your business, which many, many entrepreneurs are not doing. Many coaches are not doing, paying themselves, so that you can have that personal lifestyle. Because what happens when you're an entrepreneur is your personal life and your professional life becomes so blended that you forget to take care of yourself.
Right.
And I like to live a luxury lifestyle. Like, I like to have acupuncture, massage, facials. I want money for all of that. I also want to go travel to Peru and work with the shamans. I want to do things that keep growing me, and they cost money. I also want to provide a place for people to come to transform, and that costs money. So the amount of time, wisdom, and energy and life experience that I've invested, I really feel like there's the return on investment. But as an entrepreneur, I have to really be managing and, like a captain, driving my vehicle, my business vehicle, with clarity. And that is so important. You need to be paying attention to what's happening in your business.
Absolutely. Paying attention. And I know that with Jennifer, she's really talking about pay attention to your money. Even if you're a brand new coach, even if you don't know what your money is going to be because you're not consistent yet, you pay attention to what is there, what you have. Absolutely. Go, Magdalena.
Yeah, after being a coach in some way, shape, or form for 27 years, I just want to, again, I'm repeating myself, I want to have fun, I want to play, I want to travel, and I want to collaborate. So this is a great example, Crystal, to be here. You know, I know for me, I only want to make $150,000 a year. As long as I keep my overhead $2,000 or less, then I can do joint venture stuff. I can do affiliates. I can speak on other people's stages with passion and joy and travel the world. I'm also doing and get referral fees, you know, inbox money, affiliate income. I've made 6 figures in that before, and I'm shooting for that in 2027 to have that, you know, money that just keeps rolling in. So I don't have to still be working hard, because some coaches, I'm just going to put it out there, a lot of them still work way too much and still have a dollars for hours mentality. So residual income, investment properties, all of that is like, I have my eyes set on for that future. So I just wanted to give that perspective too.
I love it. I'm so glad that you did. And I love that, you know, when you and I did your interview for the Liberated Coach Summit, we were like, come on, like it was just like, we're going to just show up. Come on, let's go. We got it done. But I love that spirit about you, because it is fun. You are fun, but you're also serious about your work. And yes, and I love that you are serious about your money. You are woo-woo as they come, but you also are very serious about that money.
I have a new one. I just learned this one. You can all borrow it if you haven't heard it. Instead of saying woo woo, I'm woo hoo.
I love it. I love it.
Look, that's kooky.
Woo.
Excellent. Renée, I want to check on you and see, because I saw you moving over there. Do you have something you want to chime in right now?
Yes, I can. I just want to share a little bit about. So there can be different scenarios when you start your own business, and so I was never thinking that I would have my own business, because that was far away from my mind. But life was just like driving me, because after I left my corporate job, I was so into, I want to build a family, and I was just like supporting my guy. And then I figured out, but there's no chance to go back in the corporate world, because I was so delighted by this free lifestyle. So, and then it's just like, for me personally, that was really just like, I was never numbers driven. And I think this is a very, this is why I like we bring so much awareness in, because all the spiritual women outside, they want to have the healing and they want to help. So the numbers thing is really so important, and really to pay attention. But it's a scary thing, because at the end, it's facing how much you think you are worth. And when you come to circumstances in life, they were drawing you down, your worth is down. So the money is also down. So this is something where you really should reach out to ask for help and to support. And so this is why, having numbers, but between having numbers and hearing numbers, and just like, I want that, and then just like, really just like, where are you on the scale? And this is where, please open your eyes before you start, or if you are in the trouble, just like, become real. Goals.
Really beautiful, beautiful wisdom.
Crystal, can I jump in here real quick?
Absolutely, Allison, please.
You said something that I think is so important, and that is, how much is your light worth? So if we want to think about ourselves as these light bearers, right? These light bringers, and that's what we do. What's going to nurture you, first of all, and back to how much money do you need? What's going to really nurture you to become the brightest light that you can possibly be? And then that's priceless. You are priceless. And I think that's a really important point to bring back, because when you said it, it really resonated. It's like, how do you ever put a price on being this bright light? And so it's that combination of nurturing yourself, enough self-care, giving yourself the lifestyle, the money that you need to live that kind of life, and then honoring it and charging what that light is worth. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. Look, I find that to be just so important. And my little inner child, when I say, what's your light worth? She's just like, it's worth billions. I'm going to be a billionaire. And that's what I used to say when I was a kid. Like, I'd set up my lemonade stand and I was like, I'm going to make billions. And it's not that I was greedy. It's that innocent child really did say, I'm connected to everything. I'm worth everything. And it's not, oh, you should be giving it to me. It's that it simply is what it is. And I think that we need to do more embracing of that in our lives. And honestly, I find it heartbreaking when I see women, who want to become coaches, and they say things like, oh, well, that's not for me. And I'm like, well, maybe that's a mindset thing that you can be working on. People can think what they want to think. They can be where they are. But honestly, why not try on something more? All right. So look, we're nearing the end of the Spiritual Business Hour. And what I'd love for our speakers to do today is to share what their gifts are that they're offering at the Liberated Coach Summit. Who would like to go first and share about their gift that they're giving? Don't all speak at once now.
I'll go for it. Oh, no. Go, Renée.
Go for it. Excellent.
Okay. So I'm here to give you my 4 magic moves, because when the waves are coming, when you are in the next process to grow, you need to take your body with you on the journey. And the 4 magic moves are helping you to get out of the tunnel, calm your nervous system, get in the present moment, and then just like become your best smile. And by the way, that's a muscle to have posture in your face that open closed doors. So the 4 magic moves started and make before and after pictures. And because all of the amazing coaches here on the speaker, they have so much gold nuggets, they can just like expand your brain and your just like your vision also. But here, this is bringing you in the body and helps you to digest.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you. That's a great that's a great gift from Renée Ambarees, offering you the 4 magic moves. It's a little mini workshop that she's offering. That's awesome. Allison, you want to go next?
Sure, happy to. So I've been working with essential oils for the last 50 years, and I am in the process of writing my next book, or I should say it's actually writing me. And the oils have messages that have not been heard before that they want people to know. And part of this book is invocations that they have brought forth. And so I created a little ebook of some of these invocations to empower people when they use essential oils to make them even more powerful and bring forth different gifts that they haven't thought of before. So it's a fun little ebook that people can enjoy.
That is fantastic. That makes me think about
I want to download that.
doing some money magic. I want to do some money magic with some essential oils. Who's next? Who's going to share?
I'll go. Sorry, Magdalene. Renee was setting me up earlier around numbers and being spiritual, and numbers are spiritual, by the way. They like come from space, the star system. They're coming from the star systems. The Greeks have invented accounting. Actually, the Greeks invented the formula for accounting and the balance sheet and everything. And when you do Renee's gift, which I'm currently doing right now, and I've already implemented it into my makeup routine. When I put my cream on, then I do Renee's gift. But one of the exercises in Renee's 4 magic moves is about your eyes and being able to see. So I highly recommend download Renee's gift, then download my gift and do my gift after you do her exercises. And because my gift is called Get Current, and it's the 9 hidden signs that you have financial pressure, and it's closing down your freedom, your creativity, your clarity, and your impact. And it's the first step. It helps you to see, helps you to notice, become aware of where you're avoiding, where you're doubting, you're not paying yourself, that kind of thing around your business and your finances, even your personal life and how it's operating. And it takes 1 minute. It takes 1 minute. But if you do Renee's practice right before the very first time, you're going to have like even amplification around this and be able to see and become aware of the hidden pressure that you're under. And once you become aware of that, it can start shifting immediately. There'll be a next step after that, but that's why it's free. It'll give you something right away.
Absolutely wonderful. Let's get current, everybody. Let's become aware of where we are with our finances. Yes, excellent. Magdalena, would you like to go now?
Yeah, and I first want to acknowledge you, Crystal, because this is a brand new gift that I've never given before, and it was inspired by your summit. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. It's called the 3 Keys to Reclaiming Your Power and Pleasure Through Your Yoni. If you don't know what a yoni is, it's Sanskrit for vagina. And as women, we are all powerful. Our womb and our yonis is where we hold so much power. And we, for thousands of years in the patriarchy, have given our power away. We've been shackled through bad marriages, having bad narcissistic bosses, and all these different things. And we hold so much grief in our womb for our ancestors as well. So part of this 3 keys is to tap into your feelings and emotions, tap into becoming your own womb whisperer. If you don't know what that is, you got to get the gift, and really being able to have a daily sacred practice for yourself, because on the back end of the 3 keys is my 21-day challenge. It takes roughly 21 days, or really more than that, but to tap into a new habit. And love, money, pleasure, all connected to our womb, all connected to our yoni. The divine feminine is back here to help us raise that and know that we're equal to men. And in a lot of ways, just spoiler alert, we're actually a little more powerful because our wombs can create. They can create businesses. They can create life. They can create their own pleasure. And, you know, reclaiming our power as part of what I do is women's empowerment and soul liberation work. And that's the whole idea behind the gift, is to really clear those lower 3 chakras and to reclaim your power, stand in your truth, and make a lot of money.
I love it. I am so excited. You guys, haven't told anybody this yet, but, and if somebody wants to join me, you're more than welcome to, but I was going to do Spiritual Business Hour Weekend Edition, and I was going to be unwrapping your gifts. I'm going to be unwrapping your gifts. So I'm going to be starting off with Renée's gift, because we've been talking about it and learning so much about it over the course of the last, weeks. And so I'm going to be unwrapping your gifts. So if somebody wants to join me, please do. And this will help people understand the power and the wonderful things that you all are offering. All right, Lori, I saw you wave your finger. Let's go.
Yes. Well, first, God, I'm so excited. I want to go as soon as I can. I'm going to go download these other gifts because I definitely want all of them, and I haven't downloaded any yet. So my gift, often people think of a retreat as kind of a relaxation, a woo. And my gift is, you get all of that from a retreat, but also a retreat is an incredible business engine. It's a way to scale. It's a way to, a retreat's one of the few places where you can get lead generation, sales, and fulfillment at the same time. So my gift is kind of a little mini guide on 100K retreats with heart. So how you can have a retreat with heart and fun and adventure and excitement and relaxation, and also make $100,000 from that retreat. So it's a way to use a retreat as a business engine. And after you get the free gift, you can actually schedule a call if you want to talk about it and see, does it make sense for you, and get some tips on how to do that. So
great gift.
It's a great way. It's a great vehicle to help you build your business while having an amazing time and connecting with people and having fun.
Yeah, retreats are fun. And I love that. I love that you are teaching how to do this, helping people engineer their retreats. And then Jennifer is setting up her retreat center.
I'm booking a call with you.
Yes, I know. I want to talk.
Excellent. Very, very good. And I too have a gift, you all. And my gift is the 5 Shackles quiz. And, I put together the Liberated Coach Summit because I know that women are weighed down, held back by limitations on their mind, limitations on their time, limitations on their money, on their business, and on their pleasure. I call those shackles, right? And here at the Liberated Coach Summit, we're all working together to help break those shackles so that we women coaches can be free to move into those higher levels. And our guests, we've got Allison, Lori, Magdalena, Jennifer, and Renée here. And all of these women and 14 other people are on the summit offering you ways to help you break free. My gift is a quiz that you can take, takes about 1 minute, and it's just going to help you become aware of where you are within those shackles. So at what level are these shackles holding you back? What are they stopping you to do? The quiz is just the entry point. Once you complete the quiz, you are going to get a guidebook. That guidebook is going to take you through each one of those shackles and help you see the path for breaking forward. So how are you going to break free of the money shackle? How are you going to break that shackle that's around your business? How are you going to break free from that? How are you going to liberate your mind? How are you going to liberate your time? How are you going to liberate your pleasure so that your work your life is giving you tremendous pleasure and you're not cringing from life or backing down from it. All right. So, look, I want to thank all of our guests today for joining me. We had 6 people, which is the most I've ever had at the Spiritual Business Hour. And let me tell you, this was I loved this episode. I think more than any, you all just brought the fire. You all just brought the fire. So thank you all for joining me. And I'm so glad you're in the summit. You have so much to offer. And we are here for it. So thanks for watching. We will see you. You all please like, comment, share this video, share it with your friends, leave us all a comment, let us know your feedback, sign up, use the links in the comments and in the captions. And I will see you all on Saturday for the weekend edition where I start going through the gifts and doing the 4 magic moves. And all the other things that are going to be there for us. All right, everyone. Bye for now. See you next time.